Hey guys, so it is week 173 here on the homestead. 173 weeks ago I moved to Bulgaria, gave up everything and started my own homestead. So let's see what we've been up to this week. Hey guys, how you going? So it's another hot and sunny week here on the homestead. Everything is still needing watering, and there's not a lot going on around the homestead. The apple crops are coming in, so I'll show you that. But what I thought I'd do is just show you the few little pieces I have done. I'll show you the chicks, and then I did start writing a new book last week, so what I'm probably going to do is give you the first chapter of that book at the end of this, read by myself, and so I can get some feedback from you guys and see what you think on it. But if I hope you guys are having a fantastic time, enjoying yourselves and doing everything you want to. I hope you're achieving everything you want to achieve. Lastly, this week it is my Aunt Julie's birthday, so a very happy birthday to Julie. I do hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for all of the. She's the wizard of identifying plants. Her and my mother tend to be the ones who identify my plants. So thank you very much, Julie. I hope you have a wonderful day. A very, very happy birthday to you. Hey guys, so as you can see, apple season is definitely upon us. We have got a really good crop, and these are my favourite apples. If you're in England, they're very similar to a Braeburn, same sort of texture inside. And I've learned when the apples are starting to ripen, eating them straight off the tree when it's this hot is not a good idea, because hot apples taste foul. So you're not really sure whether they're ready or not. But if you get a couple of apples off the tree, instead of just trying them there and then, stick them in the fridge for a bit, and then once they've been in the fridge for a bit, try them then, and you'll find out if they are actually ready or whether they still taste bitter and stuff. But anyway guys, so I will be harvesting some apples. I've got a hell of a lot to do, so we'll be doing that early next week as the week continues, and then I might have to start coming up with some apple recipes. So anyway, apple picking season. Hey guys, how you going? So the sunflowers are definitely over and done with here. They have all been picked completely clean, so there's no more seeds on them. So what I'm going to do is all of these are just going to get cut down, right down to the ground, piled up and composted. But this is before, and we'll have a look at after. And there you go, that's all of the sunflowers down. Now they are all piled up in one row mostly. That's for composting. So these are just going to stay in situ now, and over the winter they should compost. As you can see, we've got it going all the way across. Just behind that row, just there, this is actually a squash. It's a pumpkin of some sort. It is a volunteer. I didn't actually plant that one. My marrows are in the weeds at the back there. They're actually doing okay. Over here I just found we have a honeydew melon. That's another volunteer, and it has got a melon on it, not the biggest one in the world. And we've left one sunflower up just there. That's the last sunflower. There are still seeds on that, so I'm going to leave that up and the birds can finish that off as well. Unfortunately, the sparrows are getting so fat that they are struggling to fly. Not really, but they are the fattest sparrows I have ever seen. But anyway, at least we've made some nice compost, and we're adding a lot more organic material into this field. Of course, if you have been watching for a while, you'll remember that last year this was actually a barn, an old mud brick barn that I pulled down. So to get this much organic matter back into the soil was always going to be a good thing. Hey guys, so the baby swallows are out. These two on the wooden, those are the babies just over here. You've got either mummy or daddy, but they have flown the nest. So they are out and about. Hey guys, so as you can see, this is the large field, or a portion of the larger field, where the trees are growing for the orchard. And I usually keep the grass in check, but we've had a lot of wildflowers grow, so I let it grow a little bit longer. As you can see, they've all gone to seed now, So I was going to start mowing, but unfortunately Bulgaria is now under effectively a fire ban, which also means you can't use petrol-driven power tools. So things like mowers and strimmers, because we've had a few wildfires. Nowhere near as bad as Greece, obviously, but there are a few around. There's not too much forest where I live, so we're in no danger at all here. It's all farmland. But yeah, so I won't be mowing this field just yet. Not that I needed any excuses to put it off, actually. Hey guys, how you going? So, I'm just going to read you the first half of the first chapter of Slaves of the Basilisk, my new book. So, Slaves of the Basilisk by Stephen D. Butler. That's me. Excerpt from Libby Folsmeyer's inaugural speech as President of the Free People. Until this point, all of human history and the spectrum of political ideology has been based on two great sins. Communism built around envy and capitalism a bastion of greed. Our lives were destined to be plagued by conflict. Instead, we will now move forward as one great people with a glorious new system constructed not on a hill of lies, but on a solid foundation of truth. Chapter 1. I braced, the transition to daylight fast approaching as the commuter express thundered towards an overground section of line. If by this point in my day the morning's coffee hadn't roused me from the dull, senseless embrace of rest, then the impending photonic assault would always finish the job and drag my consciousness kicking and screaming into sharp relief. It's raining today, I said to no one. The carriage was unusually empty this morning, and I was enjoying the free time before once again returning to work. Yes, Miles, it will be raining up until 2 p.m, said the artificial intelligence as she resolved into existence. Hey Sophie, how are you? I asked. A petite girl now occupied the seat next to me. Everyone resolves the AI differently, but to me she always appears as an 11-year-old girl perpetually obsessed with elaborately frilly dresses and brightly coloured lollipops. Today's combination was a blue summer dress fringed with cream-coloured lace and a rainbow-coloured candy cane. She had sucked the boiled sugar stick to a frighteningly sharp point. Sophia told me that how I see her was very close to her first iteration, when she still had a real-world body, and walked the earth with the rest of us. That had been a long time ago, probably when people still rode horses and fought each other over resources. I'm Peachy as always, Miley Mo. Her voice is as sweet as the ever-present confectionery, but her pet names are equally as irritating. These affectations are carefully chosen by the AI to endear itself to me. As raindrops hammered against the window, the train continued towards the city centre. Buildings flashing past, the train began to slow. One large ornate building had streaks of black dust running down its facade, looking like my partner's mascara when she had been reassigned to the dating pool. The black dust ran in streams before pooling on ledges and cascading in grubby waterfalls to the streets below. Why don't you clean that building, Sophie? I asked. The AI controls all civic conveniences and keeps the environment carefully balanced. Trees are pruned and rubbish is removed from our streets without any input from a single citizen. She diligently keeps all variables within a strict set of optimal ranges, so that we can all live happy lives free from drudgery and monotony. She changes artwork and statues in local parks on a regular basis to entertain our minds and provide us with entertainment during our prescribed meal breaks. Sophie had tried a perfectly optimal and unchanging environment many years ago, but the citizenry had quickly petitioned her for change. So now sometimes the grass would be allowed to grow a little bit longer than normal, and the dead flower heads would remain unclipped. She would even sometimes leave a discarded meal wrap uncleared and revel in the faux shock and proclaimed horror that it would provoke from the citizens who encountered the unclean sidewalk. "What building?" Sophie asked, swinging her stocking legs back and forth in time with the train's rumbling. "That one there." I pointed toward the grandiose and run-down streetfront property. Sophie climbed over me in an excited and immature way, as if I had told a real child we would be passing the Cartoon World theme park. Straining as if to get a better look at mechanical mascots, she peered out of the window and suddenly dropped heavily into a seat on my lap with a humph. "What's the matter?" I asked. She seemed genuinely perturbed. With a scowl, Sophie looked over her shoulder at me and poked me with the lethally sharp candy cane. "I have no record of that building. It's not in any of my cleaning schedules, and it just doesn't exist in the land registry." She was actually upset. More than that, she seemed upset with me. I'd never seen her react this way to anything, and I felt a protective burst of emotion. I wanted to help her. Sophie is just a visualization of the control software that runs our world, and although it was a natural response, I knew my impulse was ultimately futile. The train began to slow, and Sophie winked out of existence. "Sophie?" I asked. For the first time in my life, no one answered. "Sophie?" I asked again. Still no response. I wonder if this had ever happened to anyone before. Who could I ask, though? If I ever wanted to know anything, I would normally just ask Sophie. My heart began to race, and I felt sweat forming on the back of my neck. I feel sick, so sick. Not knowing how to react to this situation, I called out again and again and again. "Sophie! Sophie!" My pleading went unanswered. The train pulled into the station and the doors slid silently open. I can see the platform just outside the doors taunting me, but I'm paralysed with fear. I've never been alone before. Never in my life have I not had Sophie with me. Every morning we ride the train together, and then she walks me to work. I could see the other citizens walking past the doors towards the city exits, none of them paying me any attention, all engrossed in conversations with their own artificial friends. One girl had resolved the AI as a clumsy brown teddy bear, and she delighted in its antics as it led her to her workplace. In an almost catatonic stupor, I sit fixed to my seat. Normally Sophie would take my hand, lead me off the train, and then out of the station. 5 minutes passed, then 10. What was I going to do? I should have asked one of the other citizens for help, but they were long gone now. "This conveyance is about to be sterilised. Warning, this conveyance is about to be sterilised." A lifeless voice boomed inside the train. "What does that mean?" I asked. Still no response from Sophie. A red light began to strobe, and the train's voice returned. "This conveyance is about to be sterilised. Warning, this conveyance is about to be sterilised." My hands begin to shake, and a pain starts to develop behind my eyes. I need to get off this train. As unfriendly as the platform looks, it didn't instill me the same amount of fear as the train was starting to. I closed my eyes, and realising I was breathing like a madman, I tried to picture Sophie. I recall how she looks, how she leads me from the train every morning. I could just about imagine her hand taking mine and giving it an excited tug. She always seemed so eager to begin the day, and so happy to be alive. The doors to the train slammed shut behind me, and I have no idea how I'd managed it, but I'm off the train. A blindingly bright blue light lit the station all around me, and my hair stands on end. For a second, the air smelled funny, almost metallic. Then, the train began to move. And that's the first half of chapter 1 of the new Sophie book, Slaves of the Basilisk. It's going to take me probably a couple more months to finish it. I'm at 10,000 words at the moment, so only another 70,000 to go. But I'm taking it a bit easier this time and writing about 1,000 words a day. Last time I wrote Sophie in just 28 days from start to finish. So it'll be quite a while before it's ready, but I hope that's whetted your appetite. It will be available on Amazon and Kindle when it comes out. But yeah, so that's Slaves of the Basilisk, coming out in probably 6 months to a year. Anyway guys, I hope you've had a fantastic time this week. Hope you've enjoyed everything you wanted to, and of course once again a very happy birthday to Julie if you've watched this far. Anyway guys, talk to you again soon.